Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel Battleverse. Today we are diving deep into one of the most shocking and strategically important events of the ongoing Russia-Ukraine conflict, the repeated strikes on the Crimean Bridge. This bridge, also known as the Kerch Strait Bridge, has been at the center of global attention since the war began. It is not just a road and rail connection. It is a lifeline for Russia to resupply its forces in Crimea and southern Ukraine. Each time Ukraine targets this bridge, the message is not only military but also political and symbolic. The world watches closely, wondering if these strikes could turn the tide of war or provoke an even greater escalation. When we talk about the exterior aspect of this event, the Crimean Bridge itself must be understood. It is one of the longest bridges in Europe, stretching around 19 kilometers across the Kerch Strait, linking mainland Russia to the Crimean Peninsula. Its massive steel arches and reinforced concrete structure stand as both an engineering marvel and a bold statement of Russian dominance over the annexed Crimea. But as impressive as it may look from the outside, the repeated Ukrainian strikes reveal the vulnerability hidden beneath its strong exterior. Drones, missiles, and sabotage operations have tested its durability, exposing cracks in Russia's ability to defend such a critical piece of infrastructure. The exterior, once a symbol of strength, is now viewed as a target under constant threat. Inside, when we discuss the interior perspective, we are not just talking about the structure itself, but also about the strategic importance that lies within. The interior significance of the Crimean Bridge revolves around its role as a logistical artery. It carries military convoys, armored vehicles, heavy equipment, fuel, and supplies directly from Russia into Crimea. Without it, resupply becomes a nightmare for Russian forces fighting in Kherson, Zaporizhia, and the surrounding areas. The interior value also includes the psychological dimension. For Russia, the bridge symbolizes permanence, a claim over Crimea that cannot be shaken. For Ukraine, hitting it is a way to say that Crimea is not secure and that Russian control is not absolute. The interior dynamics of this bridge highlight how it serves as a battlefront of symbolism and strategy, far beyond just concrete and steel. Each truckload of ammunition crossing it, each fuel tanker making the journey, represents Russia's ability to sustain the war. And every explosion that shakes its foundations represents Ukraine's determination to weaken Russia's grip and reclaim occupied lands. The bridge's interior importance also lies in its design, where one half of it is used for rail traffic and the other for road traffic. This makes it a dual-purpose infrastructure that multiplies its value. But it also doubles the risk, because any successful attack halts not one but two major transportation lifelines simultaneously. This huge reliance turns the bridge's interior into a fragile core of Russia's supply chain. Looking at performance, the repeated attacks on the Crimean Bridge showcase how Ukraine has evolved in terms of warfare. Early in the war, Ukraine was mostly defensive, relying heavily on Western weapons to halt Russia's advances. But as time progressed, Ukraine developed offensive capabilities. Its use of maritime drones, aerial drones, precision-guided missiles, and sabotage teams shows that performance in modern warfare is no longer about sheer numbers, but about creativity, precision, and adaptability. The performance of the Ukrainian military in targeting the bridge has been extraordinary in terms of innovation. They have managed to strike a heavily guarded structure multiple times, despite Russia deploying air defense systems, patrol boats, and electronic warfare. This highlights how Ukraine is testing and adapting its tactics, while Russia struggles to perform under pressure. The performance of the bridge itself also becomes a talking point. Despite its massive construction, each attack leaves damage that takes months to repair. This shows that even the strongest infrastructure is not immune when placed in the middle of an active war zone. Safety features are an ironic discussion point when it comes to the Crimean Bridge. From an engineering perspective, the bridge was built with safety in mind. It was designed to withstand natural challenges like earthquakes, harsh weather, and heavy traffic loads. But no amount of safety engineering could prepare it for targeted military strikes. Russia has attempted to create artificial safety features by installing defense systems around the bridge, deploying security patrols, and even using smoke screens to obscure it from incoming attacks. However, the reality is that these safety measures have not proven effective. Ukraine has repeatedly demonstrated that even with heavy security, no safety system is foolproof in modern war. The vulnerability of the bridge shows the limits of Russia's ability to protect its vital infrastructure. It also highlights a larger lesson about modern conflict. Safety cannot be guaranteed through size, scale, or defense systems alone. Agility, unpredictability, and technological superiority play a greater role. When we talk about unique selling points, the Crimean Bridge stands out not just as a piece of infrastructure, but as a geopolitical chess piece. Its uniqueness lies in the fact that it is more than a bridge. It is a symbol of Russia's claim over Crimea, a supply lifeline for its war machine, and a pressure point that Ukraine can exploit whenever it needs to send a message. For Ukraine, the unique selling point of striking this bridge is the psychological impact it creates. Every time the bridge is hit, Russia feels humiliated on the global stage, its people question their government's ability to protect them, and its military struggles with disrupted logistics. For Ukraine, the attack rallies support from the international community and boosts morale at home. No other single piece of infrastructure in this war carries so much weight. Its unique nature lies in being both a military target and a political symbol. Unlike a battlefield victory that might be forgotten, a strike on the Crimean Bridge makes headlines worldwide. It is the one target that resonates with everyone, from military analysts to ordinary citizens. Now, when we apply the concept of price, we see that this bridge represents one of the most expensive elements of the war. For Russia, the financial price of repairing the bridge after each attack runs into hundreds of millions of dollars. The political price is even higher. Every successful strike exposes weaknesses in Russian defense and undermines Putin's image of control. For Ukraine, the price comes in the form of high-risk operations, loss of drones, missiles, and sometimes operatives, but the return on investment is enormous. A single strike can disrupt supply chains, weaken Russian offensives, and shake morale. The price is also metaphorical, as Ukraine pays in terms of escalating tensions. Each strike risks provoking stronger Russian retaliation, yet Ukraine continues to pay that price because the strategic benefits outweigh the risks. In conclusion, the Crimean Bridge under attack again is not just a headline. It is a turning point that speaks volumes about the current state of the war. The exterior of the bridge shows cracks in Russia's control. The interior reveals its fragile role as the heart of Russia's supply chain. The performance of Ukraine in striking it highlights innovation and adaptability. The safety features, while grand, have proven ineffective against modern tactics. The unique selling points make this bridge the most symbolic and impactful target of the war. And the price, both financial and political, is one that Russia cannot afford to keep paying forever. Ukraine's strikes on the Crimean Bridge are more than just military operations. They are messages written in fire and steel, telling the world that the fight for Crimea is far from over. As the war continues, the Crimean Bridge will remain a symbol, a target, and a reminder that even the strongest structures can fall when determination meets strategy. The story of this bridge is the story of resilience, defiance, and the future of this war, making it one of the most important battlegrounds not on land or sea, but suspended above the waters of the Kerch Strait.